All right, the season starts on Thursday, so it's time for NFL predictions by the Young Turks, namely me. Now, if the music wasn't copyrighted, I'd play it for you, so instead I'm going to have to do this. Dun, 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 dun! Are you ready for some football? You know I am. And, of course, the first game is Steelers, so I love that as well. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to break down each division. I'm going to tell you who's going to win each division. Come on, who doesn't need that kind of help in their lives, right? And then I'm going to tell you who I think is going to come out on top, kind of. So, first, we start with AFC East. That is a no-brainer. The Patriots are obviously going to win that division. Buffalo Bills, hey, look, their offense was horrible in the preseason, but I actually believe in the regular season they could be decent. They got good receivers, okay running backs. That quarterback might not be so bad. They might pull it out and have a decent season. Dolphins can be very strong. Looks like they got good coaching. The Jets are too young, just too young. But it doesn't matter. The Patriots are a steamroller. And if they stay healthy, obviously Brady's health is the most important. They're going to steamroll that division. AFC North, in an even bigger no-brainer. What, the Bengals are going to pull it out? The Browns? Oh, come on, please. I immediately dismiss those teams. They have no chance whatsoever. The Ravens are going to be, as usual, plodding, boring, okay. They'll be 9-7 or 10-6, worst case 8-8 if a couple of guys get hurt. Their defense is getting really old, though, so that might be a little bit of an issue for them, although it's still solid. But anyway, it doesn't matter. The Steelers win that division easy. AFC South. Now, finally, we're at an interesting division. Houston Texans, that could be, again, this is a big if. If they all stay healthy, that could be a really good team, especially offensively. But they're a walking train wreck as far as injuries in the past. Matt Schaub gets hurt. Kevin Walter's already hurt. He gets hurt. Andre Johnson gets hurt. Chris Brown's their second running back. He's going to get hurt in the first game or the second game, guaranteed. So if they can stay healthy, they're going to be good, but then they got those health issues. The Colts, the most boring team in America. They will be boringly efficient. They'll be 10-6, and then Manning will get happy feet in the playoffs, and they'll lose. Okay, so that's the history of the Colts. The Jaguars might be better than last year. They got to be better than last year. I know they still have problems with their offensive line, but Maurice Jones-Drew is electrifying, and I don't think their quarterback's that bad. And their receivers, for the first time this year, are a tiny bit better. So I think the Jaguars might be better than expected. The Titans could be a bit of a one-year wonder. Without Hainsworth, we all know their defense isn't as good. It's almost magical what kind of a difference he's made in the past for their defense. In the preseason, their running game looked terrible, which is surprising because their running game was awesome last year. So the Titans might have some trouble doing what they did last year. In the end, probably the boring Colts will win that division as they always do, but will flame in the playoffs. AFC West is the worst division in football. The Broncos suck. The Chiefs suck. The Raiders suck. And San Diego Chargers should be great. They have maybe the most talented team in the whole NFL. Their problem is their coach. Norv Turner is going to win a Super Bowl? Not in this day and age, my brother. No. So they can't help but win the division because the other teams are terrible. And Phillip Rivers is great, and maybe he takes them a little further in the playoffs, but it's going to be tough for them to beat the Steelers or the Patriots. All right. Now, by the way, just a quick note on that, too. The Raiders are the worst organization in football. They have no prayer. It's like year after year, you're like, oh, my God, will you please do something smart? And they just can't do it. All right. And now we go to the NFC. NFC East, powerful division, NFC East, Cowboys, Eagles, Giants, Redskins. The problem is the Redskins are kind of middling. Their Portis is old. Their quarterback doesn't excite anyone. Their defense has Hainsworth now, but still feels kind of average. So I don't expect much from them. Middle-of-the-road performance. The Cowboys have a lot of talent, almost as much talent as the Chargers. Not quite as much, now that they lost T.O., etc. But their coach is even worse than the Chargers coach. Wade Phillips, they're supposed to go 9-7, according to the experts. They could easily go 6-10. This is what Wade Phillips is going to do throughout the season. Oh, there goes another victory. Oh, no, we lost again. Okay, so they're going to bungle their way to a lot of losses. But the Giants and Eagles are solid. They got great defenses, and the Eagles have a good offense, too. So they should, be obviously at the top of that division and at the top of the NFC overall as well. Now, NFC North, a lot of people are excited about that for good reason. Vikings are very good, except Favre. God, how many interceptions is he going to throw? Just please get him under control. Hand the ball up to Adrian Peterson. Let your defense and your offensive line do the work. But I'm afraid about Favre in that situation. Lions are terrible, of course, but they can only get better. They can't get worse. The Bears, I don't believe that the Cutler is going to be able to magically make them a better offense. I don't believe in the Bears until they show it. Now, the Packers, I love. I think the Packers are going to be a great team this year. They look like a juggernaut on offense, and their defense is much improved than they have. Capers now as their defensive coordinator. That could make a big difference. NFC South, so I think the Packers are going to win that division, even over the Vikings. NFC South, that's a really interesting division, probably the most interesting division in the whole NFL, because you got the Saints, who have no defense but have an awesome offense. I love to watch them play, and who knows how many games they can win. They can win 12 games. They can win 7 games. That's how variable it is, partly because of their defense. The Buccaneers are pretty clear. They're not ready. And their coach has given some signs that he's a little clownish. He put Cadillac Williams as their starting running back. Cadillac, I got 4 busted tire Williams? Please. You got Derek Ward, clearly the better running back. Use him. So I'm worried about the Buccaneers. But the Panthers, that's another team that's really variable. They could be at the top of the division, top of the league. Or, Jake Delhomme could suck like he did in the playoffs, and all of a sudden they're in a world of trouble. But they got a great offensive line and a pretty solid D. And that's why I like this division overall. And then finally, the Falcons, I think are going to win that division. I think they're a really solid team. Offense, defense, again, the offensive line is fantastic. Matt Ryan is solid. Mike Turner is solid. Tony Gonzalez now. I really like the Falcons. I like them winning that division. Now, NFC West. Look, what am I going to say? I think the Seahawks are going to do a little better than expected. I think Matt Hasselbeck, if he stays healthy, is actually a pretty decent quarterback. Hushmanzada is a great receiver. Their running backs are hideous. So a little better than expected. They might go 8-8, whatever, right? The 49ers, God, I hope Mike Singletary's a good coach. I've always hated the Niners, but with Singletary, I like them. I'm just not sure it's going to work. How much can you rah-rah guys without a lot of talent? Sean Hill's going to take you far? I'll believe that when I see it. So probably not that great a team in the end, although they might win some games because of Singletary's enthusiasm and what he instills in the players. The Rams are terrible unless their new coach winds up being a miracle worker, or they're going to continue to be terrible. And then the Cardinals is another team like the Texans that are based completely on injuries. If they stay healthy, they're an excellent team, as we saw last year. But then Kurt Warner, Anquan Bolden always have injury issues. And when's the last time an Arizona team went through a whole year without 2 or 3 of their running backs getting hurt? So we'll see how the injuries deal, what kind of blows that they deal the Cardinals. But in the end, when all the dust settles, this is the thing to remember. The rest of the league is irrelevant. It's the Patriots and the Steelers. And I think this year in the playoffs, they're going to have, finally, the clash that ends all clashes. And we're going to find out who the team of the decade is. Now, the NFC, I know the Giants beat the Patriots. You can't dismiss the NFC out of hand. And I think the Packers or the Falcons could make a real great run, or it could be the Philly and the Giants still hanging in there as good, solid, strong teams. But I don't think they're going to beat the Patriots or the Steelers. So that's the real Super Bowl. Now, as a Steelers fan, I'd love to say with that young team and their great defense and their solid offense, the Steelers will pull it out. But honestly, and this might not be good for a prediction, but I don't know. And that's why I can't wait to go to the end of the season and see the Steelers versus the Patriots in the playoffs. That's going to be the greatest Super Bowl that wasn't a Super Bowl. And that's my prediction for the year. TYT predictions for the NFL.